Yeah, so once again, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining this session. Today, Ilya will give us some more insights on if you can build on top of FHIR, if you can build an EMR on top of FHIR. The answer is in the title already, but we're curious to hear more. So the floor is yours.
Yep. Hi, nice to see all of you here to listen to my presentation. So I will start with a couple of questions, so please raise your hand. So who is building some kind of EMR or EMR modules? Yeah. And maybe somebody is using OpenAir. Okay, it's nice. Yeah. My name Ilya. I'm CTO of Beda Software, and for last 10 years I have been building various solutions on top of FHIR. And since the nature of my work was consulting, I started to build a lot of tools as open source, just to reuse it across multiple projects, not to reinvent the wheel. And finally, it's ended up that all this set of elements was enough to build a kind of EMR. And today I will share some insights, how I'm doing it, and it is, from my point of view, to build your own EMR is much easier than it may appear to be. So what you need to build an EMR? So I can identify three categories. The first one is subdomain knowledge. So all of us were working in the digital health business domain, but there are some small subdomains like scheduling, managing immunization, care plans, managing admission, finances, and so on. Another thing, when you build a software, you need to build some data entry flow. So you type in something into a system. After that, you need to store, persist it. And the final step, you represent the results, because it's like the whole point, where once you capture something, you need to display it. And as a side effect, you need a set of user interfaces to display it. And now let's go one by one, review all these three sub-elements and see how FHIR could help us with this, and also what tooling I implemented, mostly in the last section for user interfaces. So when we're talking about some subdomains, even a FHIR resource could give you a good clue, like what you would like to do. So encounter itself, pretty self-explanatory. It helps you a lot. Care plan, activity definition, and so on. For some more complex use cases, when one resource is not enough, you can have a look on some specialized implementation guide. I will refer to Australian patient summary implementation guide and Australian e-requesting implementation guide, but there are lots of them, and you can find tons of useful information. Let's see how these things could help us. So the first example is pretty simple. It is just a screenshot from appointment resource that basically describes all the states, how you should operate with appointment, and it provides you an understanding how you can build scheduling. It's just in the specification. Another good use case. So when I was building solution for pediatric scheduling, I need to define a specific services that applicable for kid of specific age range. And it may sound like a very specific use case or like very pediatric centric, but if we have a look, and it is not in R5, it's only in R6, but in R6 we have a specific field for it. So in the eligibility, we have ability to specify a code, and we specify if we specify code as a pediatric patient, in eligibility value range, we can specify this age range. So as you can see, sometimes very specific use cases described just in the FHIR resources and can give you a better understanding. This thing, it is part of Australian patient summary implementation guide, where you can see the whole user journey. And it is important to understand who is using your software, when it is used, and like what stages a user going through. So even, and yeah, usually it costs a lot of money to develop this kind of things, but you can find it just in the implementation guide. Another good example is e-requesting that provide you a set of specific actors. So if you are building solution for e-referrals, for sharing radiology, pathology requests from GP to labs and so on, you can just have a look on this implementation guide, see that there are 4 actors and how they interact, and basically it's a work plan for you how to build all this stuff. Yeah, and finally, I encourage you to build your own implementation guide, because you can combine all these things together, just inherit existing profiles and have your own subset of FHIR that defines your particular use case. It is not very complex. It's pretty easy to do with FHIR shorthand, and yeah, just do it. Yeah. Let's go to the second phase about data entry flows. And in FHIR, there is a resource called questionnaire that provides you ability to define a form. And it is the easiest way to enter data into the system. But it is not enough, because FHIR questionnaire, field FHIR questionnaire produces a questionnaire response that basically a key value storage. It's not fully like interoperable, but if we go beyond FHIR and look inside structured data capture implementation guide, we can see that there is a part of this implementation guide that describes an extraction process that allow you to convert your questionnaire response into a set of FHIR resources suitable for any other stuff. Yeah, and for more complex use cases, for example, when you would like to send a notification once your appointment is scheduled, you can use another part of FHIR called topic-based subscription. Once resource is created, you can send the notification or do any other stuff, implement something more complex, even if cases when extraction from SDC is not enough and you would like to write your custom code. So with this approach and here you can see example of questionnaire. It will look like this, so it's very comprehensive form. The next thing is mapper that converts this questionnaire into a bundle transaction. You can see in this example that depending on the ID, we can either update with patch existing coverage resource or create a new one with a post. So it's very convenient and a lot of ways how you can transform your form into specific set of operation you would like to apply on your storage level. Yeah, finally, here is example of a topics-based subscription in 8box where I subscribe for some patient changes and changes with the appointment for the purpose of sending some notification. As you can see, like most part of the program of the flow you create is just a JSON. It is FHIR questionnaire, it is mapping, it is definition of topic-based subscription, and only on the final mile you need to write some code. So instead of doing like full cycle programming, you create bunch of JSONs and only in subscription writes some small code. It's from my point of view, it's very similar like how some tooling for DevOps evolved. So like if you like see how Ansible looks like, it's like bunch of YAMLs and you can create a lot of things with this declarative way. So we have the similar approach in FHIR and we definitely should do it. Yeah, and now let's go to the third part about user interfaces, because we know that implementation guide could provide us with a logic, with algorithm, how to do it. With FHIR questionnaires and structured data capture implementation guide, we can actually program this process, like we enter data, we store it, we persist, and now we need to display all this stuff. Yeah. So, and this part is more about like Beda EMR, what I am developed as open source project, and all of you can just start using it straight away. So it is two components. The first one is design system, and another one is UI kit, basically a set of React components. In design system, we took undesign design framework, and on top of it, starting creating some reusable components. We started with something basic building blocks, like for example, you see like avatars, and usually this kind of building blocks you will find in any design system because it is something very generic. But we are not building generic solution, we are building EMRs. So our building blocks should be much bigger. So for example, you see another example, and it is like a building block of list of elements. It is list of particular this design for list of encounters, but the whole design system allow you to build similar interfaces with these huge building blocks. Another example is patient charting. Again, it's blocks that you can configure and reuse where you want. With design system, we have support for some telehealth calls, some calendars for scheduling, and various type of forms based on the SDC. Yeah. So once we have these high-level design components, we can pretty easily define how user interface will look like. But the final step, we need to program it. We need a UI kit that will be aligned with these ideas of having high-level components as React code. That's how I ended up with idea of Uber component. It is very big, sophisticated component that not represents something small. It's the same idea as we have in the design system. Uber component represent the whole screen, like list of encounters, telehealth call, or like even some charting, whatever. And yeah, a few words about why the name is like this, because it's really something huge and beyond the normal. It is our way in Beda software to create this high-level abstraction, and let's see, it's our way to create this high-level abstraction to avoid things like this. So when we built the first version of Beda EMR, we see that there are a lot of code deduplication. So we have list of encounters. We need a model window for encounters. We have list of healthcare services. Again, we need a model window for healthcare services. The same thing for various type of list of patient, list of practitioners invoices, and so on. And we decided to find this common approach and find a better way to define it. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Is it better now? Yeah. Yeah. So now I will demonstrate how we can decompose this page and see which part of FHIR could help us to develop it. So first of all, we have a button to create an encounter, and basically we just need to define ID of a questionnaire resource that will be used to display a form to create this encounter. Next thing, we see a list of practitioners. And to query this data from a FHIR server, we can just define XFHIR query. We need to define a bunch of getter functions that take encounter and return a string to display it on the screen. And finally, we have this action block where we can have a navigation action that redirect you to another page, or it could be some questionnaire for example, for purpose of editing this line, and always we have some kind of custom action as an extension point for features like starting a video call. Let's see how this screen looks like as a source code. So first of all, we define a search parameter, and in this case, we just filter encounter by patient search parameter passing patient ID, and then we have this list of getters. So you can see by the what code I have here that it's basically attributes of encounter. So it's pretty easy and still could be improved because we have some like legacy part from the underlying components. We need to specify some data indexes, keys, but yeah, it also could be optimized and make much close to just FHIR native structure. And two more things. So in the header, we have this create encounter action, and the encounter create, it is ID of the questionnaire. So I just specify it, and after that render a form to create it. And define actions for each individual record. In this case, it's just navigation to go to some other page. Let's have a look on this page. It is charting page, and we are not displaying only one type of resource here. We have a bunch of resources, and we would like to load all of them. And with FHIR API, it's pretty easy to do it. So we define the search parameters to, first of all, to filter patient by ID. And after that, with ref include, we load all other related data. So in just in one query, we have everything on the screen to display. Another thing of enhancement here. So you can see that in this particular screen, I am not using TypeScript to query specific field of resource. Instead of it, I am using FHIRPath. And it is what we are started experimenting not so long time ago, but now it's become a preferable way of accessing data. Because if we think how it could be simplified, basically to define all elements in a table, you just define a list of FHIR pass expression and that's done. So we are moving in this direction to even more simplify the process. Yeah. Another example is calendar, and again, pretty similar approach. This approach with defined search parameters works pretty well and most likely will keep it as it is. But for other things like filters, you can see it's what you can see here. It's not FHIR at all. It's something very custom, something driven from the front end, from the library that render you this filter stuff. So it could be enhanced, and we are searching for a solution to make it more close to FHIR. Maybe it will be some kind of question item from questionnaire to define this widget. Yeah, it's still in process of optimization. Yeah. So right now we have list of these Uber components. It is component to display a form, general layout for list and detail page, component to display a table with filters, ability to create elements and so on. Component to display charting, some dashboards and calendars. And basically, this only 7 components, it cover most of the use cases. So you can prototype EMRs pretty easily with just this building, with this small amount of building blocks, because each of them very huge. Yeah. So you put all things together and you get your EMR. Yeah. For last year, we built a lot of projects, and I will just quickly go all of them one by one just to demonstrate that with this tooling you can build solution for various area of healthcare. So one of the first project is University of Chile. They doing transition from paper to digital, and like they built EMRs for general practice, mental health and women health. Another client is laboratory system from Israel. So they are creating a solution for early cancer detection, and with our software they built things to manage the whole laboratory. And the fun part about it is that this company, they are using dogs to detect cancer. And it's pretty fun to build solutions that actually manage dogs, but it's for the healthcare. Yeah, another example that I mentioned a couple of times, it's Tribeca Pediatrics. It is pediatrician EMR, clinical trial from the United States. They're collecting mammograms to, it is fine? Yeah? Okay, yep. Yeah, if you can hear me, it's fine. Yeah, because I see like it's okay. It's okay. Okay, yeah. Another example is clinical trial platform for University of Central Florida. They're collecting mammograms, and we have integration with DICOM to pull all the data and build this data bank for further researchers. We are working with a company from France to build a clinical trial platform in mental health area. So create questionnaires like PHQ-2, PHQ-9, some depression, anxiety screening, send it for periodically to clinical trial participant and get the result to the system. Even in financial area, we have client from United States who is building a injury case management system. So we using financial part of the FHIR resources to create insurance claims and CMS 1500 form. Yeah, and much more of them. So my question, why you're not even using it right now? So you can see link to the GitHub repository, and I encourage you to have a look to try it on your own, and yeah, just use it or contribute, provide your feedback. It's very available. Yeah. So what we are doing right now, we are keep way to improve solution and make it more native to FHIR. Yeah, as this example with filters and so on. Another stream of work is to make development process as easy as possible. So we experimented with things like AI-driven form builders and creating some generation of code to allow much faster create all the elements. And finally, trying to build like AI-driven solution inside for questionnaire filling, for scribing of video calls and appointment and so on. Yeah, so I don't think that we have a lot of time for questions, but maybe a couple of them. And yeah, feel free to reach me via email, or you can go to this website. It is LLM model trained with all the documentation of EMR, and you can just this chatbot instead of me if you will not have time, if you will not be able to ask me right now. Yep.
Are there any questions? We have 1 minute, but still we can use it effectively.
There was the slide where you showed the code with the FHIR pass.
Yep.
Is it like for front code? How do you apply the FHIR pass on the front end?
So there is implementation of FHIR pass in JavaScript. So we are just using it, and we have some helpers to make it typed. So you can see that getter builder is a function that check that so FHIR always return an array, so it's covered with this getter function, but yeah, it just use FHIR.js behind to evaluate.
Yeah, thanks. Very inspiring presentation.
Anyone else? Oh, sorry.
Hi, thank you for your speech. Do you think you will be developing Uber for more components, like for specific areas in medical, like dental area, stomatology?
So Uber components, they are still building blocks for developers. But with this Uber component, you can build a specialized EMR, for example, for dental care, for optometry, for whatever else. And in our roadmap, it's kind of next step. Once we have this very good comprehensive set of Uber components, and all part of them will be very well defined with FHIR, we will start building a solution for particular medical specialties.
Okay, I think that's it for today, for this session at least.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ilya, for your presentation, and thank you for your questions.